I want to start with the NFL, but not like the game, the big game, the super big game.
Yeah, we got time. We got all week to ease into that.
Oh, we'll get into it today. I have a question. Who is the better coach in this game? Not all time, not legacy. Right now, today, who do you think?
One game schemer, X's and O's.
Yes.
Best utilization of personnel on the roster.
I certainly could be jaded as bias here, but I am interested in hearing the feedback. And the feedback last night with the poll question was a little eye-opening to me. So we'll talk about that coming up at 7. Matt Miller, good friend of the show. I don't know if we're going to get him on this year, but usually every draft time we get an email from ESPN. So maybe we'll have him. He's released his latest mock. To no surprise, Caleb going number 1 in his mock draft.
Yeah, his was a little interesting.
Oh, you saw this?
I think it's a little different from most of the other ones we've seen so far.
And, I think he's built up a reputation. I check them all out. I'll go to CBS and check every single one of theirs out. I think he's built up enough of a reputation where people put his up on the same level as Kuiper and McShay. And so when he releases it, everybody sees it and goes, oh, where's everybody going? Drake May goes 2, Jaden Daniels 3. I have no feel on Jaden Daniels as a pro prospect. I can see the positives. I also see some negatives.
Yeah, and it's just hard. He seems like the anti-Patriots quarterback, but you have to get out of the mindset that Belichick is there running
It's a new
stuff.
era. I think they're going to do things a little differently.
So I'm sure Patriot fans would like to see a little more dynamic play on the offensive side of the ball.
I know some people in Boston, and I'll just tell you, Belichick was appreciated, but those last couple of years were hard on them to watch that team.
It was hard to watch.
Malik Neighbors, not Brock Bowers, at number 5 to your Chargers.
I don't know how I feel about it. They desperately need a security blanket tight end for Mr. Herbert.
You don't want the speedster Malik Neighbors? This is right up the Al Davis tree here. How fast is his 40? He's a big play wide receiver. He had 89 catches for 1,500 yards and 4 tutties. I was surprised not that Bowers just wasn't at number 5. He had Bowers slipping all the way to 12 or 13 to the Saints. That one, or no, he had him at 14. He went from 5 in many mocks. Miller has him slipping down. If you're looking for local prospects, I like this fit. Rome Odunze in Chicago. Now, I like the fit because I think Rome is kind of built for New York.
I thought he had him 6 to the Giants.
What did I just say?
You said to the Bears.
Oh, sorry. I meant the Giants.
Yeah.
God, I'm all over the place. Can you tell? Look at my hair. Roma Dunze in New York is something that I think he's built for New York. I didn't mean to say Bears. I meant Giants. I know Daniel Jones isn't the greatest quarterback, but I think you give that team 2 years and they're going to move on from this Daniel Jones thing where they pretend that he's amazing. He threw 11 touchdown passes. And Roma Dunze goes to New York with an instant, hey, I'm a star and I'm good. I like that fit. Not surprising to me given how much chatter there's been, but Oregon State's offensive tackle, Talise Fuaga. Number 10 to the Jets. That's a nice little pickup.
Well, if there's a team that needs some help on the O-line, there you go.
Yeah, I like that. And then number 12, this is interesting to me. Not Michael Penix.
No.
Bo Nix to the Denver Broncos.
I have heard I've seen reports on Bo Nix out of Senior Bowl that run the spectrum.
Yeah.
One day he was having a horrible day of practice and he didn't have arm strength and he didn't have this and he didn't have that. And then I've heard, the NFL GMs love him because he's so smart and calm in the pocket, but he can make the throws and he led his team on a touchdown drive when he played. And so I don't have a good feel for what the consensus is on Bo Nix.
We had Trevor Sikkema, who does he's a lead draft analyst for PFF, and I want to get him on, in a couple weeks once the season's done and we get closer to the draft. I asked him about Bo Nix, and he said Bo Nix was fine, but he wasn't great. He said very not awful, but not the worst, but kind of middle of the road. And I'm with you. It does feel like his interviews and just ball knowledge is generally what's sticking out for people. It doesn't mean he can't be a good NFL quarterback. It just, of all the things, he had an okay Senior Bowl. He started out strong, and it looks like he kind of faded a little bit. But number 12, Denver's a spot where we still don't know what they're doing with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, they want to move him. Who knows if they can.
I would not touch. Why would any team take that contract?
I don't know.
So you either eat the money and get out of it, and I'm sure that costs them an arm and a leg. And then you've got Jared Stidham, I believe, still behind, who I would guess that would be given the starting job. So there'd be no immediate pressure on Bo Nix. Although you start like 2-6, that's when maybe the Bo Nix chatter starts to kind of pick up. But Denver could be a great spot because maybe he won't feel as rushed to start. He can learn the Sean Payton system, learn from Sean Payton himself. I like the fit. And it's a stable organization, regardless of what's happened with Russell Wilson and the Nathaniel Hackett thing.
Yeah.
It's still the Denver Broncos. You're not going to say, well, they don't know what they're doing now.
Well, I think Sean Payton with a guy like Bo Nix, a lot of similarities maybe to Drew Brees.
You like that comp, huh?
Yeah.
You see that for Bo Nix?
There's worse guys you could go to for if you're a quarterback wanting to develop.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I mean, if you're going to learn from somebody, you want to learn from somebody like Sean Payton. The interesting one for me, you go through this and you get some DBs and some receivers. You got some Washington offensive linemen. Jackson Powers-Johnson, by the way, is 28th in his mock to the Bills. Be a nice little pickup.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, snapping the ball to Josh Allen. Could be worse things. Latu from UCLA at the Lions. They really need some pass rushing to help Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep.
So I like that fit. The one that stood out is he's got Michael Penix, but he's got Michael Penix in the second round going to the Minnesota Vikings at 42. He says the injury concerns are just there for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
He does comp, and I've heard this several times. I think Sycamore told us last week. The comp for Penix for NFL people, this is interesting, seems to be Phil Rivers.
Yeah. He's a left-handed Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
If you look at his motion, his size, kind of how he gets it out there, and he can spin it. But yeah, I've heard that before.
Could be worse comps to have than Phil Rivers. Phil Rivers was a really good quarterback.
A nice little career.
Troy Franklin slips into the second round in his mock. He goes to the Raiders opposite Devontae Adams.
Well, yeah, the Raiders love speed. You know that.
But who's throwing them the football?
I still think I saw a couple where he sneaks into the end of the first round with the Chiefs. And
yeah, I've seen that too.
Wholeheartedly believe that if he's on the board, unless there's somebody that slips.
So here's the Chief pick. And you can't fault him for it because I like both players. Xavier Worthy, Texas wide receiver.
Yep.
Big play guy. They need reliable playmakers. He's kind of been that at Texas. I don't know if that translates, but to your point, it's a Franklin or Worthy type pick right there for the Chiefs.
Yep.
That feels like the most no-brainer pick, right? Go get a receiver for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Go get a receiver. Sure hands. Good speed. You're never going to find another Tyreek Hill, but
no,
you need a guy that can make big plays for you.
Yeah, so a lot of local guys fitting into the first round. Trice goes to the second round to the Rams. I like that. He gets to, if Aaron Donald doesn't retire, he gets to learn from Aaron Donald. Some really good picks from the local prospects. Fuaga, Odunze, Caleb Williams, kind of leading all things in the top 10 for Pac-12, formerly RIP the Pac-12. And Bo Nix to the Denver Broncos. I think we like that fit. We like that fit for him.